Are you seriously preparing history for competitive exams like UPSC CSE? Then, of course, having a good grip in history that will help you to crack these competitive exams. Be it Indian history or world history, most of the questions, be it objective questions or it is descriptive questions, they're built around, they're being built around two things, that is, causes of the events and consequences of the events. Causes and consequences of the events. Okay. Indian history events are there, world history events are there. So, this is very much important. A serious aspirant must cover the causes, multidimensional causes of the events, and similar way multidimensional consequences of the events. Here we will see the consequences, the impacts of the world history events, which is very, very important for your exams. Okay. So starting with there are lots of events here: Industrial Revolution, American Revolution, French Revolution, World War One, World War Two. There is nation state building, or it is imperialism, colonialism, decolonization. So many events happen in the history. Impacts, starting with Industrial Revolution. Here we go. Industrial Revolution. Yes, what are the major impacts or implications of Industrial Revolution which happened in Europe? First in Britain. See, rise of capitalism. One point which you have to bring into the answer: rise of capitalism. Industrial Revolution leading to rise of capitalism or capitalist class. Okay. Then there is, expansion of urbanization. Expansion of urbanization, large scale migration of the rural population to urban areas in search of jobs and employments. Okay. Large scale urbanizations and urbanization associated problems like slums and all. Then see, there is a social, segregation. Let's see, house and how notes. House and how notes. It's also resulted in rise of new class, working classes. Yes, there is a rich capitalist classes one side, other side working classes, and they were deprived of the basic rights. Okay. So there is house and how notes. Then it accelerated the economic growth of the country. Okay, not only England but also Europe. Let's see that there is, this is something, yes, this like a buying and selling process. So economic growth of this England first, then it is spread to other part also. Then there is, expansion, spread of banking, and this it resulted, or it pushed that, monetization and all those things. Then there is globalization. There is economic integration of the global economies or world economies. There is, societal, cultural, intellectual integration. So globalization. There is, yes, rise of democracy. When this rich and poor divide is there, there are lots of, movements also happen: labor movements, women movements, political rights movements. Then there is socialism, Marxism, or this liberalism or romanticism. Lots of movements happened in this Europe. Then there is infrastructural development, transport communication development. Then there is, expansion of colonialism. All these are results of Industrial Revolution. Okay. Also the rise of nation states. Similar way, American Revolution, the impacts of American Revolution. Yes, there is, for the first time, this is the first anti-colonial struggle. Yes, there is establishment of democracy, even though it is not full-fledged democracy. See, world first democracy established here, world first written constitution, world first written constitution with the bills of rights. Yes, again, see, for the first time, a federal system, federalism established here, division of power between states. Okay, center and states concept, later adopted by other countries. Then it has started the process of abolition of slavery. Okay, even though it happened after American Civil War. Then it was inspiration to French Revolution. Then see, yes, the rise of republican movements. Then there is separation of power, and there is a spread of the modern ideas like humanism, liberalism, individualism, democracy, or representative institutions. Those ideas become so popular. These are some impacts of American Revolution. Then let's see, that is French Revolution. French Revolution is impacts of French Revolution on Europe and entire globe. You see, the idea of liberty, equality, fraternity. The idea of liberty, equality, fraternity becomes so popular. Then there is abolition of absolute monarchies. Abolition of absolute monarchies. Yes, there is constitutional monarchy. Then there is republican government. Such things adopted. Then end of feudalism. Then spread of the republican ideas, and demand for cry for republican governments in different parts of Europe. Then there is rise of Napoleon and Napoleonic Code and his modern reforms, and expansion of this French Empire or this French state. Then see the idea of secularism, the power of the religion is reduced, and secularism or secularization of the state and polity happened. See, these are some impacts of the French Revolution. Then coming to these Napoleonic reforms, what are the impacts of Napoleonic reforms? Of course, there is economic acceleration of this French economy, or let's say banking system, credit system, or maybe these industries, manufacturing, all those areas, flourished like anything. Yes, there is a standardization of this currency, or there is, codification of the law. Then there is proper trade system, taxation system, banking system. Then there is, credit facilities. All those economic reforms undertook by him, and that facilitated this economic development of French. Then concordat, there is an agreement between this, Catholic Church and this French government, and that reduced the power of this, Catholic Church. When it is accepted as the official religion, it also reduced the power of the Catholic Church over this, people's life. Then see, that is, centralization of this administration, Napoleonic Code, a legal system introduced, or this modern education system introduced, and so much reforms. At the same time, certain policies reversed the ideas of revolution, Napoleonic policies. For example, women got subordinated to men. Then you see, introduced censorship, and also it was like, he established an authoritarian government. There is no freedom for that, like opposition, criticism, etc. So these are some reforms of Napoleon. Same time, he is the brainchild of this revolution, and many of his reforms were in such a way that it reversed the ideas of revolution. Then there is German unification. Impacts are like this. Yes, it impacted this balance of power in Europe. It impacted this balance. It became a master state, or it became a superior state, and it threatened this power balance system in Europe. Then see, there is, it became a colonial power. Germany also joined the race of this, colonization. So it started establishing colonies in Africa, Asia, etc. So see, colonialism. Then see, militarization. There is increased militarization, which again, threatened the power balance system and peace, stable polity of Europe. Then there is a concept called the master race. Then there is, there is industrial revolution, or Germany become an industrial powerhouse. So these are some major impacts or implications of this German unification. Then there is World War One, major impacts of World War One. Of course, the Treaty of Versailles that ended World War One. It was a huge insultation on the pride and power of this German state. There is League of Nations in order to settle disputes between the nations, member nations, and in order to ensure this political stability and peace among the nations, there is an organization, League of Nations born. Then there is in Asia, Japan become a superpower after this World War One. Then there is, Russian Revolution and this rise of USSR. Then there is, rise of USA as a superpower. Then see, Germany is fallen, and this collapse of monarchies. All these are some impacts of World War One. Social changes are there, especially, women replaced this, traditional jobs of the men. At the same time, this women empowerment and movements for women rights become so popular after this. Again, see, there is a psychological disillusionment, trauma also. There is lost generation. People, they lost everything. Their beloved ones, their properties, everything. They live in futility. So lost generation, psychological, impact also part of this World War One. So this is the way we will be covering the popular events and their impacts in the Indian history and world history. If you like this series, please do subscribe our channel, and leave your valuable opinions in the comment box. All the best. Thank you.